Hey, what's up YouTube? Spidey here coming at you with a how-to video. So a lot of you folks get books in the mail and they're oftentimes shipped well and more oftentimes than not shipped well, or they get damaged in transit. So what I wanted to do was just do a quick video on if you do decide to purchase some of these Gemini comic mailers, and I think they're generic enough that if you buy these comic mailers, they may not necessarily be Gemini branded, but when you first get them in the mail, and I believe they come in packs of 5, 25, and sometimes even much larger. When you do get them, they come and they arrive in a box, and they're unmade. They're like this basically. And the first few times that I tried to assemble these, there are no instructions that come in the mail. And if you search on YouTube for how to build this mailer, they do have an official channel, and the instructions are really, no offense, but they're really poorly made. So it looked like a couple months ago somebody did take the time to do an updated tutorial, another channel, and they did a pretty good job. But I went ahead and decided to go ahead and make one myself, not only on how to actually assemble this properly, but how to pack and ship the books safely and securely, as well as over the last couple of weeks through the live shows and through some AOKs. I've had quite a bit of experience packing and shipping some books here over the last few weeks. So thought I'd go ahead and put this video together, and hopefully you guys find it useful. So first of all, I've got two Gemini 2 comic mailers, just to kind of show you guys how they look like. Again, this is how they show up on your doorstep when they first arrive. And at first, when I first, first of all, I'm not a very handy guy to begin with, but when I first saw how these are made, I was very confused on how they are actually folded. Now, if you're eco-friendly like myself and you want to, make the most of used mailers, by all means, use the ones that you receive. I have noticed that they can withstand some wear and tear through normal USPS shipping. Shout out to Jason Smith, working for the USPS. They don't always necessarily handle things with care. So usually about after 2 or 3 times, especially when you're sticking labels and shipping labels and whatnot, after about 2 or 3 times, normally I just dispose of them. But if you are starting from scratch, you'll notice there's perforation here, there's some perforation here and a cutout here, and basically what you want to do is be able to fold it. What I used to do, and what I hadn't realized, is that this perforation here, sometimes you can cut it, and it is a natural thing to cut here, but in actuality, if you just lift this flap up, and hopefully you guys can see this okay, if you lift this flap up, all you have to do is actually twist this and fold down, and fold that flush down flat. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Here, I'll do this again. So it starts like this. Sometimes these things tend to be sealed a little bit. This one's got a little bit of give. But yeah, you just like lift it up, twist it going, sorry about that, twist it going down like this, flush down, and that's pretty much it. Then you've got your normal, fold this, and then you fold the book. Now, some people like to fold the book and ship it like this. I actually like to fold it down in this and then seal it this way. But again, there's no, wrong or right way of doing it. That's just a personal preference. So again, I'll start from scratch. This is kind of how it arrives, flat, flush. You lift it up. You kind of do a twist going this way. Press it down, and then you're good to go. Now, usually that's when the tutorials end. What I like to do though is give a couple of extra tips. And so you'll notice that with this perforation here and this indentation here, if you put a comic book and you have it face down and you ship it face down like so, there is a good chance that pressing it down like this could leave an indentation across the line of the book. I've had books arrive in the mail like that, and you can actually see the faint dents, and that would probably not make you very, very happy. So what I typically like to do in lieu of this, bump here, is actually ship with either a backing board on the bottom, or definitely have the last book facing up. So you've got the backing board that separates, this fold from the books themselves. Now that's, again, totally up to you on preference, but I do prefer to put either a slim backing board here just to divide the last book from the book from the bottom, or have the last book facing up. Now, what happens if you're shipping multiple books? And again, best practice for me is to ship multiple books. So even if you're selling a book or you're giving a book to a friend or a family member, and you only want to ship one book, I don't recommend that you just ship it as is, just because it would really be, pretty flimsy as is. So I recommend some buffer books. Throw in some either Marvel previews books, or some free comic book day books, something you recommend for a friend that they like, a character or a story, and then just basically add some density to the package itself. So I've included a couple two other books just randomly in the area, and what I like to do also is mention how to stack the books. So if you're going to ship 5, 7, 8 books together, the other thing that I recommend is not to have the top book facing up, right, where the cover is exposed. What I'd actually recommend is that you face it down, so that the book on top that's exposed is actually, the backing board or something along those lines. Another thing you can do too is, if you want to ship the book on top, put a backing board on top of it, and that just basically separates, the top book cover from the rest, or the weather elements and things of that nature. Now, of course, if this is in a rainstorm or something along those lines, no amount of extra cardboard is really going to help, but I do like to have it face down. Now, the other thing too is, some people get a little bit more particular about this, but they like to do interchanging. So if the spine is here, then the second book they want to, kind of face the other way. So you've got like this, and then this way, not only does it keep the depth of the stack down, but it also sort of protects the spine as well. So then if this is down, then this would be up. And so that's where you have to kind of play around with, what stacking makes sense. In this case, if I have the backer board down, I'll go this way down, this way up, and then this way down. And then you've got a nice stack there. Now, the other thing that you can do too is, if you guys do graded books, I like to use these old CGC bags that CGC ships. Say that really fast. CGC ships really standard in their slabs. They're kind of murky, and personally I don't like to display them like books like that. So what I do is I end up repurposing these CGC bags, and then I'll slide the books that I actually plan to ship, possibly even a backer board in the front and the back. And then I tape these down. Then this way, that if you do any taping down to the package, it won't have any impact to the books themselves, and you guys add a little bit of extra spacing, security, and buffer into the package itself. So fold these down, and then you can actually fold the package together. Now, what exactly do you use to tape and secure these things down? That's totally up to you guys. Obviously the painter's tape is pretty popular nowadays. They're easy to remove, they're easy to apply, and they don't actually stick to the surface of the books. So personally, I like to use that. It can get a little pricey, especially when you're actually packing the books. So what I like to do is I'll use painter's tape internally, and then I'll use standard Scotch tape to seal the book together. So what I've got here is a pack of 3M Scotch painter's tape. You can certainly buy other brands. I've actually been really happy with being able to buy a tape dispenser and then being able to use it just like a standard tape dispenser. So I'll just take a small piece of tape here, I'll apply it sideways, and then I'll take another small piece of tape here and apply it on the top. And this way you've got basically a sealed bag, protected books, and then you can basically choose which way up or down you want to actually affix to the package itself. Now again, what you can do, other people who do get pretty particular about it, they like to tape going sideways across, and sideways going up and down. For me, I used to do it both ways. One, it does cost more because you end up using more tape, but two, you also run the risk of damaging or potentially damaging the spine if you put too much pressure going across this way. So lately what I've been doing is I've been applying some invisible Scotch tape going all the way across here. Sorry, not Scotch tape, but packaging tape. So apply it all the way across here. This way you're just applying, securing the package to the books, but then also not applying additional pressure to the middle of the spine going across. So once that's taped, what you can do is you fold this down, again, you can use either painter's tape or standard tape. You'll notice here, see, it's kind of loose. Again, I like to typically pack the package with maybe anywhere from 5 to 8 books. That way you're maximizing both shipment as well as the depth and the security of the package. But once you've done that, go ahead and fold this up and fold this down, and like I said earlier, you can feel free to tape this across and seal it and package it and ship, or in my case, I do tend to like to go down this way and this way, and it's adjustable too, right? So as the book packages get thicker and bigger, it can fold and condense and contract and end up supporting it. But that's how basically I ship my books today. This seems to work pretty well, anywhere from 5 to 8, maybe even 10 books. If you ship it via media mail, you're probably paying anywhere from $3 to $5. If you ship first class, it really just depends on the weight of the package. But it does seem to work pretty well for me. Again, tape this down going across this way. That way, if you see right here, you can see sort of the book sticking out. If you don't secure it, what'll happen is in transit, these books will slide over here and here. And what I find to be the most common issues of damage is either the books slide here, and when it's folded, the books over here get damaged, and you'll know it because one, when you get the mailer, it's dented here, and two, a lot of the backing boards tend to get dented here as well. So another tip that I like to do too is if you decide to ship books in current bags, then sandwich it with boards that are bigger so that it's kind of bleeding over, sort of like an ice cream sandwich, or so to speak. That way, if there is some damage incurred, then the bigger boards will take the damage, but the books themselves are fine. I tend to bag and board in standard, and so standard gives a little extra buffer for those types of cases, especially when books are going in transit. So again, seal it up, fold this down, tape this across, and then you're good to go. You can get shipping labels or print them or write them on the box themselves. I tend to like to print them and then put a sticky sealer on top of it. And you can get those actually free through UPS. Go to the UPS store or order them online, and you can get those shipped to you for free. Then that way, if you want, you can tape it and seal it across here. That gives an extra layer of protection to ensure that nobody tampered with the package. Additionally, if you're eco-friendly and you want someone who's going to receive this package to be able to reuse it, all they have to do is peel off that shipping label, and then they're good to go with another nice clean fresh package to reship and send their books out. So hopefully you guys found that useful. I'll leave a link to in the description below for where to get these Gemini comic supplies. This is not a sponsored video by any means. I just thought I struggled with putting this together so many times initially. Hopefully someone will get benefit from this as well. Thanks guys, and have a great day.